If you aren't familiar with the Spectre, he is literally the vengeance of God, a cosmic ghost cop with omnipotent power that even the Justice League won't mess with. But today's video isn't about the Spectre, it's about the one character who made the Spectre flinch. A man so terrifying, so cursed, so deeply insane that James Gunn, yes, the same James Gunn who made you cry about a talking raccoon and a feral weasel man, refused to even consider casting for the Suicide Squad. That man is a tragic and universe-saving Dogwelder. If his name wasn't clue enough, Dogwelder is a disturbed vigilante who welds dogs to villains. I know right now I'd rather run into the Punisher because then at least I know I'm just gonna die and not end up with Scooby-Doo attached to my forehead.
Also, trigger warning, dog death. A little late for that.
Welcome to the disgusting and surprisingly emotional world of Dogwelder. So how do we get from a gross parody character to a cosmic savior? Let's look to his author Garth Ennis. Garth Ennis being the creator of the successful Preacher and the Boys comic series. He used Dogwelder to explore the absurdity of superhero violence, generational trauma, and the pain of being misunderstood. In the late 90s, Ennis was writing a series by the name of Hitman for DC. Hitman followed Tommy Monahan, a telepathic assassin in Gotham City who is the spitting image of Billy Butcher only about 10 years before the Boys' release. The Hitman series blended dark humor, ultraviolence, and a commentary on superhero culture, as a lot of Ennis's work does. In issue 18, Ennis creates a side team as absurd as they were pathetic, Section 8, for Tommy Monahan to team up with. Section 8 are a team of deeply disturbed heroes operating out of Noonan's Bar in Gotham's Cauldron District. Leading the original team is Sixpack, a belligerent drunk who is desperate to lead a superhero team and his only power is really bottling his enemies. Assisting him is Buono Excelente, a man who can only either say Buono or Excelente, who, and I'm quoting the comics here, defeats evil with the power of perversion. We also have the Defensenator, a man who carries a window just to throw people through it. Phlegm Gem is just a dude who can spit a large amount of phlegm. Jean de Baton Baton, a French caricature who uses the power of Frenchness, often seen beating people with a baguette. Shakes is just a man who stutters and shakes a lot. Friendly Fire is the only one with real powers, powerful energy blast, but he can only ever hit his teammates. And lastly, we have Dogwelder. He doesn't speak, he doesn't explain himself, he just shows up carrying dead dogs and a blowtorch. See, a way to view Dogwelder is a parody of the over-the-top 90s anti-heroes like Spawn, Lobo, or the Punisher. But unlike most parody characters, Dogwelder was effective. Criminals screamed in confusion, other heroes were horrified, and readers could not look away. The team's first adventure with Tommy isn't too spectacular. They mainly take out the demon Morz's High Goons, while Tommy and Catwoman take out another demon, Etrigan, after he stole Bator, the Hell Lord of Insanity's crown. After that, Section 8 almost splits up after Friendly Fire points out that they only meet up once a month and achieve nothing, and then he accused Sixpack of drunkenly just making up all of his superheroic stories. And then a multi-dimensional demonic entity called the Multi-Angled One spawned into Gotham. The team again do battle with Tommy against this new threat. And being well out of their debts, Phlegm Gem is the first to get killed, followed quickly by Jean de Baton Baton. Friendly Fire accidentally blasts his own head off. The Defensenator is killed, Shakes takes a grenade and blows himself up in a nearby gas station, and our dear Dogwelder is atomized by the many angled ones. Sixpack and Buono Excelente are the only survivors, with Sixpack sacrificing his soul for the many angled ones to leave Earth, and a statue is erected in his honor. Dogwelder dies a punchline, forgotten. But not for long. Flash to 2015 and DC invites Ennis back for All-Star Section 8. Sidney Speck, formerly known as Sixpack, is an art critic and respected within the industry. He is also in recovery and has assumably been sober ever since his previous adventures. Until he accidentally drinks a Ryan Coke, vomits all over himself, strips naked, and ends up back at Noonan's Bar. Instantly creating a supervillain threat in his own mind, it's time to reassemble Section 8. With Buono and Sixpack being the only surviving members, the new cast is Guts, literally just a pile of walking stomach and entrails. Power Tool, again just a normal guy but with a power jewel coming out of his helmet. Bator, the demon lord of insanity, who has now been shown working as a barman at Noonan since the Hitman series. The Grappler, spelt Grapplah, it's just a guy with a grappling gun. And lastly, Dogwelder. How is Dogwelder back? Well, in an odd way, this is technically Dogwelder 2. See, a seemingly successful businessman with a loving family runs across the original Dogwelder's gear in an antique store. He is quickly possessed by the spirit of the Dogwelder, going mute and with the insatiable need to weld dogs to faces. You'll notice I only named 7 characters as a part of Section 8. So the rest of this 6-part miniseries is Sixpack trying to recruit a big Justice Leaguer just to make the team a bit more legit. This includes trying to recruit Batman, who ignores the team when the Batmobile gets a parking ticket. Then, onto Green Lantern, who just flat out rejects the offer. Next is Martian Manhunter, who almost joins the team before walking in on Bruno Excelente getting it on with a tapeworm that came out of guts. Wonder Woman almost joins the team as well after being concussed, only to come to her senses soon after. But back to Dogwelder. Well, he spends most of this series in the background, until his family come looking for him. They are on the news looking for him, and being a mute, it's assumed that Dogwelder finds a moment of normality and emails them to come find him at Noonan's bar. His wife and 2 children show up, begging for him to come home. All is looking well for Dogwelder to hang up the blowtorch until his kids bring out their family dog Scraps out of the car. And well, Dogwelder does what Dogwelder does. He welds the dog to his kids' faces. All-Star Section 8 ends with Grappler and Power Tool dying, and now we're on to the 2016 series, Sixpack and Dogwelder, Hard Traveling Heroes. And I've spent a lot of this Dogwelder video talking about Sixpack. To be fair, D-Welder doesn't talk much and has just been a crude shock character up until this point, with Sixpack being the main character for this series, and actually the only member of Section 8 to make it out of the comics.
Mother-Daughter Day. Oh, great movie. Just watched it the other night.
You're my professor and my biological mother.
There she is.
That's right, my daughter/student. And you need a detention and a spanking.
Oh, spank me, Mommy!
Honey, don't look.
What? That's how you learn.
But don't worry, our main man has a title now, so the dog welding content is heavy from here on out. As a result of him, welding the family puppy to his kids' faces, his wife has divorced him. Totally fair if we're being honest. A year later, she's remarried, and Dogwelder secretly watches his old family, wanting to reconnect with them. Depressed as the reality of his possession has caused him to hurt his family beyond repair, he stares up at the Gotham night sky. And then he bumps into John Constantine. John comes in hard and fast with the exposition, hinting that his powers are ancient in nature and coaching him on how to be able to communicate again. He does this by using the dog as a sock puppet. In a side plot, the Spectre shows up at Noonan's bar to reclaim Bator to hell. Something I didn't mention earlier is Bator only ever says, "I am Bator." So as Section 8 are all claiming to be Bator, Dogwelder speaks his first words, "We are all Bator." This is where we get the scene of the Spectre seeing Dogwelder for the first time and then running away with his tail between his legs, exclaiming that Dogwelder is the first sign. Soon after, we have Dogwelder trying to reconcile with his family, to which his kids are still obviously severely traumatized. After an argument with his now ex-wife where Doggy begs for his family back, he is held off by his ex-wife who is armed with a kitchen knife. John Constantine and the rest of Section 8 come take him away as the truth sets in. He'll never have his family back. John takes the team to the Great Pyramids of Egypt and tells Dogwelder to light his torch. As he does, he is transported to the Dogwelder afterlife. This is where stuff gets pretty nuts. He meets with the previous Dogwelder, and it's explained to him that this is a generational curse. All throughout time, there must be a Dogwelder passed from generation to generation. All starting by a curse from the Egyptian god of funerary rites, protector of graves, and the guide to the underworld, Anubis, the original man to have a dog welded to his face. Dogwelder 1 says to the current Dogwelder, "The tools have changed, as did the mask, but the curse lives on. When our times came, we all knew that our lives and our loves were gone forever. There is no going back." Dogwelder's vision ends as he asks, "These strange powers, strange lives, without reason, without purpose. Can I at least lay down my burden? Can I end my torment and join the rest of you in peace?" As they walk outside, John checks his watch as if he's waiting for something to happen, and then a giant explosion lights up the night sky. Back in Gotham, our heroes learn from the news that the stars Sirius A and Sirius B are expanding, and when they touch, they'll explode and destroy the known universe. Welder's purpose becomes clear with one realization. Sirius A and Sirius B are known as the Dog Stars. John Constantine has been following an old prophecy, fully aware of the events to come. He knows what must happen. Section 8 tag along to hijack a space shuttle and take it straight to the Sirius system. During this, Sixpack is having a crisis. The man ever desperate to be a hero, and now his best friend is burdened with the most important purpose of all. With the Justice League failing this cataclysmic event and no other heroes with a plan to stop it, the fate of the universe rests solely on Dogwelder's shoulders. Sixpack crashes out, yelling, "You don't know what it feels like to be teammates with a guy who welds dogs to people. What it's like to look at your mask and not know what's going on behind it. Damn it, do you know what it's like to be your friend?" With this, they soon arrive at the stars. Dogwelder harnesses all the power of the previous Dogwelders to unite the stars together before they can explode. As he is working, Welder radios back to wish his friends goodbye. See, he can't weld the suns back together without them expanding and killing him in the process. He'll finally be able to end the curse of Anubis, ensuring no one else will have to suffer this meaninglessly violent curse, and also save the Earth while he's at it. As Six-Pack begs for him to come back to the ship, Welder gives the most heartbreaking speech in response. "You've been a good friend. I'm sorry it's been so hard. But you and I were joined on this journey through life, Six-Pack. You and I, we're welded." To be honest, this feels like the type of ending James Gunn would direct, so it's upsetting to know that a hero who takes dead pets and permanently fuses them to people's bodies isn't the best superpower to put on screen. As the suns unite, Dogwelder 2 dies. The curse is over. Section 8 return to a saved planet and they realize that Welder died to no credit. The series ends with Six-Pack drunkenly crashing a Justice League charity event and calling out the heroes for forgetting his friend, the Dogwelder who became a star welder. Dogwelder will never get a movie, he will never get a Funko Pop, but in the sewers of Gotham, in the forgotten corners of DC's darkest stories, he'll always be there. Dogwelder is, at his core, a parody of the hyper-violent vigilante myth. He takes that idea, the lone avenger, the street-level executioner, and makes it ugly. Not cool, not noble, just terrifying and sad. He doesn't speak, he doesn't smile, he can't connect with anyone. His violence doesn't heal anything, it just isolates him more. But in hard-traveling heroes, Dogwelder becomes something else. A symbol of inherited trauma, a metaphor for the sins we carry, a curse passed from generation to generation, warping love and family and community. The new Dogwelder doesn't want to hurt people, but the world has made him into something that must, and the only way to stop it is to sacrifice everything.